Okay, got a little bit more time. So, week 28. Do you have a, was it power, spirit, or familiar animal? Um, yeah, kind of. I don't work with my power or spirit animals or anything like that. At one point, I kind of did. I was just getting used to the idea, I guess, or introducing um, like a spirit animal, power animal into my practice. Um, like I had said before, I have a guided meditation to meet your spirit animals. And in that meditation, a part of it is you come across all these animals. Whichever one comes up to you would be your during this meditation, and in the area in which they have you envision and things like that. You go through this whole journey in the meditation, and whichever animal approaches you is your spirit animal. And two animals approached me at the same time, and it was a white tiger and an owl. It actually was a white snow owl. I think they're called snow owls. Anyways, um, I used to have a statue on my altar in my old home of a white tiger and a snow owl, um, two statues on my altar. I've had to leave those behind in the move, so I have just not recently, like a few months ago, purchased another statue of snow owls, which I don't keep on my main altar. I keep it down here on this one. So I keep it back here. I keep it back there. I don't know if you can see it. Um, I am looking to replace the white tiger one, and I can't find it. Um, the the metaphysical store that we have in the mall here, they have a Native American section, which is where I got that from, and which is where I got the two other statues that I had previously from. And I have not found any white tigers. They have tigers, but I want the white tiger. And I kind of should have known or suspected that these might be spirit animals or my power animals, because I have always had an affinity for these animals. Typically, when a person asks me, "What's your favorite animal?" Not like pet or whatever, but like animal, I usually head straight towards white tiger and owls. Not just snow owls, it's just owls in general. And I love owls. I have like an owl shirt, I have an owl pocketbook, I have a couple of owl cups and stuff like that. My husband surprised me with flowers at work one day. And my coworkers thought, what did he do? What did he do that he had to drop by to surprise you with flowers? But he knew that I had to spend all day programming some stuff for my departments. I had to do some programming on our degree works thing. And so he knew I was going to be there all day, and he knows when I'm there all day, it tends to like drain me for the entire day, because I am not a computer programmer. But I had to learn this programming program to program our degree audits for our students for the program. Neither here nor there. Anyways, so he surprised me with a bouquet of flowers and an owl vase. So that was nice too. And I'm sure I have other owl things around, but knowing that, the thing with me is you get hints and clues about certain things in your life. I feel, will get hints and clues throughout your life. Like, if you do believe in spirit guides, spirit animals, things like that, you do get hints, I feel, if you're really paying attention to what they are. They speak to you without you realizing it. And all my life growing up, these are things that I've was always interested in, it always found fascinating. And here now, it's like I want to try to get in touch with my totem animal or my power animal, and I want to figure out what they are. But deep down, I knew what they are. I knew. And maybe it was my subconscious that pulled these two animals forth during my meditation. Who knows? But those are the animals I'm comfortable with. Um, I've held off on learning how to work with spirit animals and spirit guides in general and things like that, because there's other things I want to touch on or learn about and deal with. And I feel like when I'm ready, I can come back to that. But even with deity, sometimes I feel like there are things happening in your life that are kind of giving you hints to what they are. With Isis, first of all, my father used to call my mother Isis. He was very big into Egyptian and Greek and Roman mythology. And so he used to call my mother Isis, or sometimes he'd call her Styx after the river Styx, but we won't go there. We'll just work on Isis. As a mother, when I became a mother, I was so focused on being a mother and being a good mother, and it was like everything to me. And so when she came to me, it was natural. Isis just came to me. And at that time, I didn't know much about her other than she was an Egyptian goddess who was married to Osiris, her brother, had a son named Horus, had other brothers and sisters, things like that. But I did not know much about her. I didn't know her aspect as a mother, her aspect as a healer, a great magician, things like that. I didn't know anything about that. But that mother aspect connected with me. And when I found that out about her, it was like an aha moment. Now I understand why she's coming to me. With Thoth and with Ganesh, it was the same thing. I didn't know much about either one of them. I started to learn about Lakshmi, and eventually Ganesh came through the door because I wanted to connect with a god deity, but I was having trouble connecting. I think it's really due to my Catholic upbringing, and because the focus was on a male god, I think once I became, well, not just became Wiccan, but learned about Wicca and paganism and different paths, I kind of just turned completely away from the God aspect, and I was just female goddess oriented. That was what I was connecting with. I was already connected to a female deity prior to even coming to paganism and Wicca. Growing up as a Catholic, I always felt an affinity to Mother Mary. And I always had that connection to her. And to me, she was safe and she was like home. So, you know what? This whole video turned into something completely other than. I'm going to have to label this something completely different. Anyways, I'll wrap this up. So, what I'm saying is, I feel like you get these hints and clues throughout your life with things that you are connected to. So throughout my life, I was connected to Isis because I was connected to that mother aspect. Even as a child, I was connected to Mother Mary. I've always had an affinity for owls and white tigers, and to come to find out that those are my totem animals. Quickly again, with Ganesh, in the case of Ganesh and Thoth, both are gods of intellect, both are gods of writing, of the written word, of literature, of knowledge, and I am an amateur writer. I am not, I write as a hobby, but I've always been into writing from the time, I'm going to say I really, really got into writing in seventh grade, sixth or seventh grade when we had this project, this writing assignment where you had to write a short story for a project, class project. And from there, it was like, oh my gosh, writing is amazing. Because I've always been a reader. Writing is amazing. I love writing. And so from then on, I have always written. Even now, like I've had stories I've worked on, not necessarily finished. Some is like right at the end. Like I'm telling you, I must have 600 pages and I have no ending. But I'm always writing. New thoughts come to me and I write those down. If you would have seen my old journals where I was writing my stories before I started typing it up, the story I was working on for like years, I've done research, I've written notes. Every time things would come to me, I could be on the train, on the subway, going to work. An idea pops in my head. I always have paper and pen on me. I jot down the idea. So I've always been a writer. So in learning about Ganesh and learning about Thoth, and I, you know, that was again an aha moment. Like, oh my gosh, these are deities that are associated with writing, with knowledge, with intellect. So that's my tip. When you are looking for certain things in your path, like a matron or patron deity, or you're looking for spirit guides, whatever it is, look to what speaks to you. Odds are, somehow through those things, spirit is guiding you. And they're trying to guide you to where you need to be through those interests. So, anyways, this is way longer than it needed to be. So went off topic and rambled, but neither here nor there. So thank you for watching and blessed be.